Britain is broken, but don't worry. Shadow Secretary of State Robert Jenrick is on the case. Who could he possibly be going after, you ask? Is it the oil and gas executives making record profits whilst gouging our energy bills and destroying the planet? Or maybe it's the multi-billionaire tax avoiders squirreling their wealth away in offshore bank accounts? No? Well, surely it's the property developers turning high-rise flats into fire traps with cheap, flammable cladding. Not them either, you say? Well, then who is it? Who are the villains Robert Jenrick is bravely trying to protect us from?
Excuse me, do you think it's all right not to pay? Seriously, why do you go back through the barrier and pay? Do you want to go back and pay like everybody else? Do you think it's all right not to pay? Why don't you go back and pay? You can say off as much as you want, but everyone else has to pay. You're carrying a knife, you say? Nearly 1 in 25 people using London's public transport aren't paying for it. So there's 8 officers down there, but 1 minute away, that gate's wide open. It's also just annoying watching so many people break the law and get away with it.
Or at least most of it.
Right, should we go over here to these guys here? Excuse me, gents.
Hello.
You're on camera, mate, you're bang to rights.
Just step to the side and...
All right, thanks very much, guys. It's the same with bike theft, phone theft, tool theft, shoplifting, drugs in town centres, weird Turkish barber shops. It's all chipping away at society. The state needs to reassert itself and go after lawbreakers.
Sorry. Yes, that was the bizarre video that Robert Jenrick posted today on X, formerly known as Twitter, in which he films himself confronting people dodging fares on the tube. So you could all sleep peacefully tonight, guys, because Jenrick's on the case. But in all seriousness, according to TfL, 3.4% of passengers didn't pay fares between April and December last year, which is actually down from the year before. Now, in a perfect world, would everyone pay their fair share? Sure. But 3.4% doesn't really seem like the sharp edge of a collapsing society to me. Now, Jenrick, of course, doesn't agree with me. Here he is on Times Radio.
And it feels to me it's also something bigger than just fare dodging. That's one example, whether it's graffiti, whether it's people on public transport who are playing loud music instead of wearing headphones, annoying everyone, trying to dominate the space. But there are numerous examples which suggest that the public realm, the places that we all share as society, are fraying right now. In fact, are being shredded.
I understand.
And they want to see the authorities, whoever they might be in that setting, step up and take action.
What's happened in our society that's made this possible, acceptable? Whose failure is it? Because is it just about a failure of policing, or has something gone awry in people's approach to society?
Look, I subscribe to the broken windows theory of crime, where if you allow small things to happen with impunity, then that takes hold. You see more of that happening, and then those individuals feel as if they have license to do ever more serious offences. You've seen that, I think, in our country. You've certainly seen it in other cities around the world, and it worries me. So if you have the authorities turning a blind eye to something that seems innocuous or minor, like fare dodging, then more and more people will do it because they think they'll be able to get away with it. And then perhaps some of those people will do something more serious, like graffiti, or will do shoplifting, or that it will keep on spiralling. And I certainly see it in the community that I represent, very different from London, a small town in North Nottinghamshire, but there is now a sense that many people feel that they don't feel safe walking into the town centre of a market town on a Friday night, and that worries me a lot. And that has happened in recent years, and if the authorities don't step up and take action and enforce the rules, then I think this will just keep growing.
So Jenrick there arguing basically that fare dodging on the tube is a gateway drug to more serious crimes like graffiti and shoplifting. Now, I'll defend London's graffiti culture to the hilt, but Jenrick is identifying there that there's a general sense of the public realm being shredded. And as a lifelong Londoner, I don't entirely disagree with him. However, can I gently suggest that the reason behind that isn't fare dodgers or graffiti? Perhaps it's got something to do with the fact that austerity, which Jenrick's party enforced on us, completely shredded the public spaces that bound us together. It closed community centres, youth centres, libraries, not to mention the spiralling cost of rent, which has sucked the life out of our high streets, displacing locally owned cafes and restaurants in favour of the same 4 or 5 corporations. And of course, the removal of social safety nets and spiralling costs of living, which has inevitably pushed people into things like shoplifting. You know, according to the British Retail Consortium, do you know what the 3rd most shoplifted item in the UK was last year? Baby formula. A study of 2,500 adults in 2022 found that 70% of people who stole an item when using a self-service checkout did so because of the cost of living crisis. So with all its beauty, are cities like London becoming more difficult places to live? Sure. But as is so often the case, I would argue that people like Jenrick are confusing symptom with cause, perhaps because, more often than not, their politics are themselves the very cause of the problem. Stephen, why are Conservatives so scared of London?
Because London hates them. They hate them in London. I don't know. I mean, like, that video is hilarious. I mean, you know, you've got this idea of Sadiq Khan's London, and there's, you know, Captain Underpants hanging around in a beautiful, glittering, efficient tube station, a monument to modernity and efficiency and an operating cityscape. And yet he's there hanging out all day, waiting to bother the odd person who pushes through the gates without paying. I mean, there's not a lot to say about this. This is a guy who wants to be prime minister. He wants to be leader of the Tory party. I mean, you know, actually, he's pretty suited to the Tory party in its current state. It's falling apart, useless. It's this kind of, I don't know, back to basics idea that's broke. You know, he referenced broken windows there, one of the worst policies of the 1990s. This idea that small infringements like dodging your fare are going to lead to greater criminal actions. There's a very little basis for it. But what there is a good basis for is, as you pointed out, and I can't really say much more than you said already, Dahlia, is that when people are impoverished, when people don't feel like they have prospects, when they feel that there's no point in respecting anything because nothing respects you, then of course they're going to feel that the social contract has been broken. So why should they uphold their side of the bargain? Just, you know, kind of rational. So yeah, there's something pretty stupid about an MP hanging around, like I say, a beautiful, efficient, clean tube station, trying to score petty points over fare dodging, when he actually has the power to legislate. He actually had the power, for his party anyway, for a decade and a half to legislate, to transform things economically, and they didn't want to do it. So yeah, Jenrick should put the film camera away, shut up, and piss off.
Well put. I mean, I always find it really funny when, like, conservative men are always like, I'm a big macho man and I'm taking on the criminals. And it's like, to me, you just seem to wake up every morning scared shitless. Like, oh my God, what if I see like a drag queen or a graffito? Like, the decline of Western civilization is upon me. And it's like, you need to relax, boy. It's fine. Anyway, thanks for joining me, Stephen. Had a lovely show with you today.
Yeah, very nice to be here. Thank you very much, Dahlia.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Make sure you come back tomorrow, as always, for another live stream from 6 p.m. For now, you've been watching Novara Media. Good night.